And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your
We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How annoying would that be if aliens sounded like that when they came down? Like, we think they're all, like, super smart and intelligent, and there's like, hello, hello, hello. Like, some weird British.
How you doing?
Yeah, dude. I would fucking crack me up if it was just like a cartoon. And we're just like, we would laugh. They're super funny.
They're actually super dumb.
Super dumb and funny. It's like a Biodome movie. You know what I mean? Like, just weird. Dumb. Like, they hump walls and shit.
Oh, okay.
Remember that when they humped the wall in Biodome?
Oh, yeah.
They were in the girls' rooms. They kicked them out, and then they started, please, and they were humping the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just watched that the other day. My wife was real upset with me. Anyways, what's up, dudes?
Oh, well, just there's a lot of cyber attack stuff going on right now.
Sure.
Like the Leave the World Behind movie, I just watched that.
Okay, I was going to ask
right
you.
now.
I wanted to ask you about it because we were texting, and I haven't seen it yet because I heard it's long.
I tried.
It's only about an hour and a half. Or no, actually, take that back. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Okay.
I tried to watch it. I was going to watch it last night.
Yeah.
And then we used my brother-in-law's Netflix, and they kicked us off.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No,
damn,
my brother-in-law
dude. You
didn't
can't
kick us
pirate
off.
that shit.
Like
Netflix
booted you.
found us out.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
They'll find your ass.
Well,
They'll snip you.
hit me up later. I've been wanting to see it. It's Christmas time, and so we're doing like the Christmas movies, and the kids are wanting to watch movies, so I just haven't. But what do you think? What was your take?
Dude, it's really good. I don't want to spoil anything, so
Don't
I'm
spoil.
not gonna go deep into it. But I think I'm gonna do a Strange Sauna episode, just completely deep diving into everything about it, because there's little hints and nuggets. Because I watched it by myself, and now I'm watching it again with my wife, and I'm noticing things that I didn't notice beforehand. Like in the intro, there's some stuff.
Okay.
Just in various scenes that it's like, so they were there beforehand, and then that's where they go at the end here. Okay. So you get to see a bunch of stuff. You get to connect a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of hidden nuggets in the movie.
So you're recommending that it's worth watching more than one time?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. What was the basic, without giving anything away, what's the basic premise of it? Is it like the internet goes down? Is that the kind of the basic idea?
Yeah, it's more than that. There's like the internet goes down. You have like electric vehicles being hacked. You have warfare. So there's actually like it's like a war. The movie is that we're being attacked.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you slowly kind of find out certain things here and there, and you're going, wait a second. So are we being attacked? And then if we are, who's attacking? And I don't want to say you never find that out, but it's like they kind of leave it up to you to figure out what you think.
Dude, I do think it's interesting. And we've talked about this in nauseum, honestly, but like the movies are putting out these movies where the plots seem to be very realistic in our times. Like I said, movies putting out movies. It's like these creators are putting out movies that like seem to be like kind of eerily similar.
Fortune telling.
How many times do I have to say it?
Not enough, apparently.
They tell us what they're going to do in our movies. They tell us what's going to happen and how they want the world to be, or how the world is going to be through our movies.
And do you think that's why Hollywood was created?
Partially.
Or do you think it was hijacked?
Maybe hijacked.
But what's the possibility? Because I don't disagree. We talked about that. I don't disagree. I think there are some foreshadowing in movies and stuff, but at the end of the day, you got people like ourselves, right? We could be filmmakers if we went to school for it or even pursued it. We haven't, right? But we could come up with ideas just from news that we've read and stuff that we're interested in, and create these movies that people would say are, wow, man, that's like striking to what's happening. But like that doesn't mean that we're foreboding. It's just like we're interested in that.
True, but it takes a while to make a movie.
A couple years, yeah.
Well, so that
means what if
Netflix,
if you're creating this movie, you're creating. If that's the case, they're just reading the news and putting stuff together and then making a movie about it. they'd be 2 years behind.
Well, yeah, but
well, they are kind of behind. The movie comes out first, and then the event happens a little bit later, right?
That means
so you had like the
That means
Ohio.
they're ahead.
yeah, but I'm saying if I asked Greg,
Yeah.
tell me what you think is possible in the next 5 years, right? If I just say, Greg, give me your whole, like, write a book about what you think is possible to happen in the next 5 years. And
I'd say there's a train that's going to derail in Ohio, and it's going to have like this toxic plume, and they're going to taint the water and all that stuff.
that's a little late, but I'm just saying I think just based off of our knowledge and like reading into like what the government does, I feel like it's not that crazy to predict like, oh, World War III. Like if you wrote a World War III movie and then eventually World War III could happen, that doesn't mean that you were some Nostradamus guy fucking, you thought that there's a chance it can happen. You wrote a movie about it. Just like the alien attack stuff, right?
Yeah, this one is executive produced by the Obamas, Higher Grounds Productions.
Oh, no.
It even says executive producer Michelle and Michael, or Michael and Michelle and
I was gonna say.
Barry
from
Obama.
what I read, he actually helped with in two different ways. I forget what the first one was, but he actually helped with the writing of the movie.
Well, he's got
inside. Yeah,
Like,
there is some racial
He was
undertones
actually
to it.
he was actually giving like the writers like notes on and like how to like make the story go.
Okay.
Yeah, because essentially you have this group, this family who's on this vacation. They've rented out this home. It's like a very nice home. You know what I mean? So they're renting it. They're kind of staying there for the weekend. And then you get a knock at the door, and it's the family who owns the home. And they're like, hey, we wanted to stay here. And it's kind of like this tension between the family. But the people who own the home happen to be black. The people who are renting the home happen to be white. And then, of course, Netflix being Netflix, the Obamas being the Obamas, they have to entwine some racial tension there.
Yeah, I did see like there's a scene where like I don't know if it was like the black husband and wife, or if it was like
it was the black husband or the black father and the black daughter.
Oh, okay.
They were like,
but he was like they were like
then,
giving advice, and he was like basically, if anything ever happens in this world, don't ever trust white people.
Oh God. Okay.
It was the opposite. It was like the daughter who doesn't trust white people.
She was like, if anything ever goes down, you looking for people to trust. White people, the last ones.
I mean, that stuff has lost its effectiveness so many years ago. Like, the thing is, if that was in a movie, so be it. But it's all movies like have this kind of vibe to it, you know?
Yeah, but that is what like all the conservative movement, like Charlie Kirk, everybody like Dan Bongino, they're all hopping on that one line, and they're going,
yeah.
They hate white people, folks. And they want you to go pay them money, and they hate you.
That clip is going viral, so of course they're gonna like jump on that one.
Well,
it's already going.
It's
viral.
Also our problem too. If you consider yourself right leaning, even like that, we do grab things sometimes out of context as well and try to push those forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the whole movie, I guarantee, is not driven around that. But it is undertones that they do in Hollywood. But it's weird that the Obamas are doing like video stuff. You know what I mean?
Isn't it?
It is kind of weird.
And having a say in like the script.
He is the one that is all about making propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Smith Month Act.
Yeah. Well, anyways, with that said, Chris, you were saying that there was a cyber attack, or Greg, one of you guys were saying there was a recent cyber attack?
There was a recent one. Yeah, the hackers apparently cyber attacked 23andMe.
Ooh.
So now whoever, I don't remember who they said actually did it, but now they have everyone's DNA.
Greg.
That's, yep. Now I'm going to have a little...
Jeez.
Mini me out there, I guess.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine?
Someone's going to have a little
but
baby
like,
Greg.
I mean, there are people in this world that will pay to have everyone's DNA, especially if like you're wanting to do some kind of like weird science shit.
Well, I mean, they have, I don't know. Do you know, Greg, what they do?
Or if you're trying to pinpoint certain things in people's DNA. Or maybe
I think
like
that,
a
Chris, you just nailed
weapon.
it.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say,
that's what they would use it for. They
swab you, right?
Section it out.
The 23andMe?
They would section it out by like your heritage. And they'd be like, okay, if we wanted to bio attack a specific group of people, we would narrow in on their genetic markers and then create something that attacks that marker.
Yeah.
I'm just curious on how they store their data. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you send a swab, I'm guessing, right? I've never done it, but you get a swab, you do send a swab in. Is that what they do?
It's actually a tube of spit.
Okay. So my question is
really?
what do they do with that tube of spit once they analyze it? They figure out, all your DNA and stuff. What do they do with the spit? They just chuck it, they get rid of it. And then how do they store like your DNA? I mean, is it actually like super detailed, or do they kind of just like use that for your, your fucking Irish and you
Well,
have these...
I'm sure the company itself has the super detailed portion, but everything that like the public would see would just be like where
the basics,
all your regions that you would be from.
From what I could tell, it's just a bunch of sequencing. Like
that's what I was asking. Yeah.
What is it? AFGC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
ATGC, whatever the hell it is. So it's like a bunch of nucleotide sequencing, and it's like a map, but it's like a story of what your DNA is.
True. Yes.
And they just create like a PDF of that.
But how do we know how deep 23andMe actually went? Do they have your whole DNA sequence to where if somebody was to get a hold of that,
that's what I'm asking.
They could go in and be like, and pinpoint certain things about your anatomy that they could exploit.
I was talking more like completely recreating you.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
I didn't even think about that.
This Dave guy.
Somebody hacked 23andMe and now they can create an army of yourself.
Well, when you need mass shootings and shit, you got to have people to do it. When you need a white van with stickers on it, you got to have somebody
They could just create you and then be like, have him go do something super horrific and then be like, it was Dave.
What was that guy's name with the white van? What was the guy with the white van?
Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
You remember how his hair looked funny? You guys remember that? That's because he wasn't fully done being made.
You know what I'm saying? Chris, look up his hairline, dude.
Yeah.
That hairline was one of the most Lego Man hairlines I've ever seen.
That was kind of like when the 3D modeler, like those, where they make the 3D printing, it didn't finish the hair. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like nubs.
Yeah.
You remember that? Come on,
my
man.
God. Yeah. Caesar, what the hell's his name? Caesar Sayok. It's Cesar.
Yeah,
Chris.
He looked up Caesar.
Look up Caesar.
There he is, right there.
Bomb.
We got him right here.
Look at that hair.
Yeah, man. That is, what that looks like? That looks like when I buy a G.I. Joe, the hair that they put on those G.I. Joes. That fake
exactly. It looks like
printed
it's pen
hair.
marks.
He came from 23andMe.
He literally looks like somebody.
Can we start calling him the first son of 23andMe?
Yeah. Patient zero.
Adoption number 1, Caesar. Because they think about it, Caesar, a significant figure in history.
Yeah, but that was way before.
Yes.
How do we know? How do we know? How do we know what they were doing? That van's probably
he could have escaped from the lab, bro.
Hey, I fucking called that though back then. I said we never hear about this guy ever again.
That's because he still exists somewhere in the earth. Like he's just doing his own thing, and he's going like, man, that guy looks a lot like
me. He probably
me.
works for the CIA like everybody else.
His real name's like Edgar, and he's like just living in Miami. Jeez, man.
Every fucking terrorist, fucking horrific thing that has ever happened, it always ends up being some part of the CIA.
Hey, Chris, can you find a picture of that van?
It's right here.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's like pristine.
I know. It's
a bunch of close up.
Well, we have the one on the top was a pretty decent view of it, but yeah, it's weird. That was the weirdest thing to me, man. It's the weirdest thing to me.
Right? Like so pristine. Those were just printed.
And they're all one sticker.
No dirt on that van at all.
Yeah, because we have there's this truck that comes around our neck of the woods over here. Every once in a while, it's got flags. It's running flags on the back end. And the whole thing is covered in bumper stickers, dude. Like patriotic bumper stickers. And it doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? Like people that do that to their car, they don't care how straight and, everything is and organized. It's just in the van itself. If you look at the top picture, Chris, on this, the very top picture, you can see the front. It like has a body kit on this van. It's like pristine.
It doesn't have a body kit.
Yeah, it's got
side skirts.
No, it's got fender flares.
Hold on,
it's got fender flares, dude. It's got fender flares. It's got side skirts. Don't tell me it doesn't.
He just went
That's
to
got a
Pimp
body
My
kit
Ride.
on it, dude. Yeah,
he went to Exhibit.
Yeah,
hit my van.
He
bitch.
went to Exhibit.
Yeah. And remember, they were trying to say he was a white guy. Like, he was just a white terrorist, a white nationalist. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't they like change the pigment of his skin too to make him look more white?
I don't know. They did something to him because his hair is all screwy. But
they gave him the Joe Rogan treatment.
I mean, but to Chris's point,
why is the door and the gas cap taped shut?
They tape them shut so that they can make sure that
Oh,
it
nobody
doesn't get
enters
open.
it. Okay.
So you see those at the gas station, man. On like they put them on the pieces, so if somebody like messes with the doors,
so they can tell if like it's been tampered with.
Mm-hmm. They strap that down weird too, though. If you look at it, I'm no strap expert, but I think that's a weird strap job. It's just like the wheels.
Well, so going back to this 23andMe, do you have a video on that?
I think that's caution tape.
I think it's caution tape.
Maybe it is.
Oh,
we don't have a video.
No,
I have
he's on a flatbed.
I don't have a video of the 23andMe. I wanted to bring up because Bloomberg, I believe it was Bloomberg, they ran a story a couple of days ago about the HHS hack that happened in 2020. Do you guys remember this at all?
A little.
You remember this, Greg?
I kind of do, yeah.
Right when COVID was popping, bro. Right when the shutdowns were happening. And if you go to the article, we can play the video, but I just kind of want to run this. This is the original March 16, 2020 article. And it says cyber attack on HHS attempted to slow down coronavirus response. That was the initial response, was that they were slowing the whole thing down. That was the whole goal. And they went on to say that it's not that big of a deal. Like no information was stolen. They were just trying to muck stuff up a little bit. You know what I mean? But Bloomberg put out a thing, which I kind of ran across through TikTok. And if you go to the TikTok, you'll see the video up for it. And it's a minute or two. And it's kind of a clips from this little segment. It's the fourth one here. Yeah, that one.
This was
they were talking about, there's some new evidence coming out about it. And there were some things that kind of struck me in this. And I want to get you guys to watch this real quick and then let me know what you think. And I kind of got an idea. I feel like we haven't discussed it, maybe why COVID happened, possibly. So go ahead and play this out real quick.
Huge cyber attack in the panicked early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, targeting a $1.8 trillion government agency. The truth of it has never been reported.
This is the Department of Health and Human Services, and on March 16, 2020, they were going to full remote work. Network operators had to adjust all their firewall and security settings to allow hundreds of thousands of new unknown connections into their network. So they had to scale down their security all at the same time.
And that's when the attack struck.
We had tested the system, we had made investments to prepare for this moment, and all of a sudden, all of the additional capabilities that we put in place so that they could easily work from home, all that additional bandwidth is now being consumed. We were extremely confused as to what was actually happening.
Arietta and his team initially thought it was what is known as a distributed denial of service, or DDoS attack.
We started to actually move the internet traffic across the HHS network, and something very abnormal happened. The actor, the adversary, actually started fouling us as we moved the internet traffic.
No matter what they did, the attacker adapted, but it never took the network down entirely. It always stopped just short of the full capacity.
And that got them questioning, then if this isn't an attempt to take down the network, what is it about? And what they landed on was this was a scamming operation. This was an attempt, a successful attempt, to map the entirety of the Health and Human Services network in very, very quick fashion.
I believe that the only two countries in the world that could probably launch something at that scale with that level of planning and
China, Russia.
Are Russia or China.
Yeah, right.
This feels like a nuclear weapon in the sense that a distributed denial of service attack that at the scale that we appeared to be experiencing would have ended our ability to function and operate. But I don't think that was the purpose. I think it was a head fake so that another action could be taken.
It says in a statement,
So what is that
HHS
action?
spokesperson acknowledged the attack and said that, quote, systems or data were compromised and that it immediately deployed additional security protections to guard against future attacks. It's almost done here. Go ahead and play it. I don't know if that was the last quote or if there's another one. I feel like there's one more. The HHS Office of the Inspector General said investigators linked the attack to an organization and at least one person that were connected to Ukraine.
Oh,
Interesting, right? Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh.
So you hear
It all
all
goes back to
you hear all the
Ukraine.
players, man. Greg, you said it right off the bat. Russia, China, must have been Russia, China. Ukraine, and they're saying it's just one guy. But my thing was, he said something interesting, which I don't believe that we've had the discussion, but we've analyzed COVID and the reason for all the shutdowns. We've talked about it up and down to the point where we've got ourselves in trouble for it, right? But one thing that I thought was interesting is I never really thought about the fact that, like, with everybody going remote, or I should say a lot of the country going remote, they did have to adjust the security systems in order for them to allow these people to get on these programs.
Yeah.
And with that said, it makes me wonder, like, what was the reason for COVID? We've said, is it a power thing? Were they trying to do X, Y, and Z? Da 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 da. What if they were
all the above?
Well, what if they were like, the whole thing was they knew that they could get people to stay home, and they knew that they could get people remotely, which would kind of lower the security and allow countries like Ukraine that we want them to have access to our information, like a, pay to play kind of shit. Like we owe them this, like, so they can get in, they can get all of our fucking information. They have all the details of HHS. I'm sure they have other companies. So it's like,
what I'm confused of, I'm just confused that, like, just because you're working from home doesn't mean you have to lower the security. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because a lot of these corporations that allowed their workers to work from home likely had workers working from home already, so they had that foundation there already. You know what I mean? Granted, the bandwidth probably needed to be increased because you have more people using this kind of like I don't know what you'd call it, like a VPN service.
Well, that's where you go in and you assume, you'd have to assume that they felt they had to lower their security because they weren't making their employees use VPNs.
Or so, like, why would you lower the security though? That's what I
feel
don't
like
get.
To me,
Because
I'm not smart. I feel like it makes sense
unless if you didn't have a VPN, then the system would probably recognize that you were an outside thing trying to get in, and it would
normally
do it.
Normally it's intranet. So like a larger company would have their own version of the internet called the intranet, because it's an internal source that, I mean, if you're like a large company, you even have like certain things that you can do. Like you can have like fucking Google, Microsoft, they can make custom things for your company, because if you're a larger company, they'll do that for you.
Unless but it's like you're on the jig too, and you purposely lowered your security because you knew this was going to happen.
Okay, but hear me out though. So to your point, Greg, I think obviously companies do have workers that are working remotely. A lot of big companies do have handfuls or whatever that was, and obviously it's drastically more now than it was at any point before. If you were like, what if you look at it in the sense that, like, they already had those people set up, they were able to get into the system. But then all of a sudden, if let's say 80% of your workforce goes remote, right? You have all these outside computers and phones that are trying to connect, and they're not able to actually verify maybe all of those computers. And you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they open the doors up for a minute at a time. And everybody's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get on here. Hey man, I'm trying to get on. I'm a remote worker. We're trying to get all set up on this stuff. And then they let them in, not realizing that they're not actually vetting maybe as well as they should have been. Like, is that possible?
I don't know. I don't think so, because like no matter how many people try to log in, there's only like that one, login type of port that you go to.
But if you look at it from like Zoom, for example, or even OBS or any of the programs that we share collectively, us three, right, for the show, like if you try to sign on, I get an alert, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's checking to see who's logging in. I get an alert that says like so and so is trying to log into your fucking
from
PayPal
Washington
account,
State or whatever.
Yeah. And so you get these little warnings, but if you have a bunch of people, like if we all of a sudden were like, hey, the show tomorrow, we got 200 people coming on our show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden tomorrow we just get a ton of, hey man, I'm trying to connect with your guys' service. And we're like, yeah, okay. Like that's probably one of the guys, probably one of the gals.
This is the pain in the ass.
And we're letting them come in, and we don't actually, like, we didn't check to see if that person was actually supposed to be on the show. It's a random person. All of a sudden they have access to our account. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the deep, and I'm not very smart with the internet stuff, man. I gotta be real with it. I'm just looking at it from like a layman's perspective.
Well, I would think that you'd need to have, because I mean, let's just take it for what it is. It's the hospital, right? Or HHS.
Yeah, HHS. Health and Human Services.
So that's a government program. I don't know how many hospitals are involved in that.
I don't even know if it was hospitals. I have no idea like what, because they were kind of making it sound like it was a data center, like the main port, whatever that is, like the main building that has all their information, all their data collection.
Gotcha. Yeah, because to me, you would have multiple servers, and the servers is like, if I'm closer to a server, my internet will be stronger. So it's like I would want to connect to the server that's closest to me, so that way I can work faster. And so you'd have multiple servers all over the United States, world, wherever, right? And you choose that server to log into. And when you log in, you have like a specific username, password.
Uh-huh.
So you'd need to break in and find that information out too, or figure out a way to bypass that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like because you're talking about servers, which you're talking about like internet connection, right? Like you getting onto that server that controls that particular thing.
Yeah, but the servers are also linked to the database.
Yes. I'm just saying, like, if you were to like jump into a group of people, like if there's 100 people that they want, listen, I'm probably being confusing. I'm sorry. But if you were just wanting to be nefarious and you said, okay, so Microsoft is going fully remote tomorrow. So you know that tomorrow everybody's going to be going on remote, right? So you're able to hack in there and you can get yourself into their system. Like, and I mean their system as in their, internal data, their programs that just like we had at our store, and I'm sure you have at the place you work, right? That has all your information in there that only employees can access. Mm-hmm. Like if you could hop in that, you would have access to all the information in there. And so like, that's what I think they were talking about.
Well, depending, because certain employees are also going to have different clearances or different access.
Yeah, but if you're already in and you're hacking, you're probably able to hack in.
Yeah.
Like, right.
Well, I just want to know who made the call to lower the security credentials. You know what I mean?
Like, these dudes are working for HHS. These are people that are like working or familiar with the thing, and they're all saying like we had to lower our, and we didn't understand what was going on. What do you mean?
Isn't that weird?
But it kind of
weird.
Made me think about COVID in another light, right? Like all these variations of why somebody would want to do that and like access.
Well, and it just popped up today. China just hacked us a fucking again. China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services, including the power grid, ports, pipelines, and water utilities.
Don't you have a video saved on X?
Yeah, it's Fox News here.
Fox News. Oh boy.
Affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army have infiltrated critical services here in the U.S.
Alexandra Hoff joins us now from our nation's capital. Alex, this is not good.
No, it's not.
Thanks for saying the audio.
Appears to be
This is not good. Alex, this is not good.
Yeah.
Not good, Charlie.
Shit.
Yeah, you might as well have said that. Fuck.
You know what they need? They need that sound effect that goes, wah, wah, wah,
fuck it. We're going live. All right, dude. Let's see what he says.
Dig it.
China. Fucking China.
U.S. and China were to become engaged directly in the Pacific. According to reporting from the Washington Post citing multiple U.S. and industry security officials, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services, like an attempt to break into the system behind Texas's independent power grid. Other victims include a water utility in Hawaii, a West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline, according to that report you're seeing there. Brendan Wells, executive director of the Department of Homeland Security's cybersecurity agency, told the Washington Post this, quote, "It is very clear that Chinese attempts to compromise critical infrastructure are in part to pre-position themselves to be able to disrupt or destroy that critical infrastructure in the event of a conflict, either prevent the United States from being able to project power into Asia or to cause societal chaos inside the United States to affect our decision-making around a crisis." The report notes that over the past year, hackers affiliated with the People's Liberation Army in China have accessed the computer systems of about 24 critical entities.
Oh, okay.
24.
The top comment says, I thought we were supposed to be worried about other places. Why China? I keep getting told that Russia is our main enemy.
Yeah, right.
We've talked about it for years. China's doing all this shit, and all of a sudden we need to keep hating Russia.
Well, it's because we can't do anything to China because they're in the pockets of all our politicians.
I just, how far could we go in cybersecurity and protecting these places if we wouldn't have sent that money to Ukraine? I mean, I would think that those billions of dollars would go to good use.
My first thought was, as soon as they said the water supply in Hawaii, I was like, when did they have access to that?
Yeah,
when all those fires just happened? Did they have access to their water supply then?
Or maybe they're saying if there was a future fire, they could shut off water so you couldn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, did they have access and just shut? Because there were reports of people.
So how does that work? Is a water supply digital now?
It always has been. It's all ran by computers and how they distribute water and where it goes. All the big
shut off
pumps
valves
and all that stuff. It's all controlled by all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a thing a while back that said most, especially major cities and even decent sized cities actually are mostly digitally operated now. So they have electronic shut off valves, electronic cut switches. It used to be manual. So that would be a problem. You know, hopefully you have an override.
Son.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, I just don't understand. Like, they do flybys with their jets to our carriers and shit. They hack into our systems. Like, what are we doing? Like, what?
Yeah, like the big fucking balloon that we just let.
I know, like,
multiple balloons.
At what point do you send a message? You know what I'm saying? Because they know we're not, but like we could send a message.
I mean, to be fair though, it could be our own government.
Could be
flying a balloon saying, "Oh, look what the Chinese did."
There was another cyber attack too that just happened. Sri Lanka, the whole fucking country or whatever just went black.
I like how you said Sri Lanka.
Is it Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka.
I don't know.
Sri Lanka,
I know. I was like, damn, who's this Sir over here?
I mean,
man?
how often do you hear that fucking?
Sir Elton John is next to Sri Lanka.
I mean, who gives a fuck about them? But also,
that was in 2021.
No, it just happened again.
Oh,
did it happen?
I just seen a fucking headline where it just happened.
Are you sure it wasn't
September
delayed?
13th, September 11. Yeah, ransomware attack wipes out Sri Lankan government data.
No, this was a power outage.
Oh. Power outage. Sri
How
Lanka.
Sri Lanka? Is that how you spell it? Sri.
SRI.
Yeah.
Yeah. LANK.
I like how you put SHRI Lanks. LANK.
Sri
Lanka.
Yeah, right here. 2 days ago. Nationwide power outage.
December 9th. Nationwide power outage. There it is. Government officials say. Due to a system failure.
Oh, just a system failure.
The whole country.
They showed a bird. I think that bird fucked everything
Yeah,
up.
it was a fucking crow.
That's what it did. It fucking stepped in a line. That was wild, though. The whole country. I mean, that would be wild to have like one power thing running your entire livelihood.
Well, I mean, clearly there's been a trend in Sri Lanka. I mean, you had 2021 cyber attack. You had 2022 government building
like
cyber
they're
attack.
super easy to fucking.
Well, listen, I don't know much about Sri Lanka per se, but I feel like it's a country that.
You mean Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, Sri Lanks.
I don't think anybody
Sri
knows
Lanks.
shit about them.
I can't imagine, like, just from what my internal brain recollects of the country, like that they have a lot of like great things going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like maybe behind the eight ball a little bit. You know, you ever see those like old cities that have like the power lines that are just covering the streets because they just don't have a good system, and it's just like you got fucking power lines literally everywhere tied to each other. Like that's what I feel like it is, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea.
Well, and I guess they've been doing power cuts. So just like California. I mean,
they're on an island.
Sri Lanka is the California, I guess, of the world. I don't know.
Oh, so they're
Maybe
over.
They're off India.
Oh yeah, yeah they are. Yeah, probably not great. I mean, overpopulated. I'm sure, right?
Chris, you should do a shirt that says Sri Lanka and try to draw who you think Sri Lanka looks like. Oh, look at that little dingleberry down there. There's Sri Lanka.
Shirai. It's Shirai.
Sri Lanka. He's gonna have
Sri Lanka is a rapper.
You put lengths,
some
dude.
kind of like shitty armor, and he's gonna have like he's gonna be standing in like the middle of the street that has no power.
I feel like it's like a rap name, dude. Shri Lanks. Shri Lanks' new hit song. Fucking power out on this bitch. You know that song. You know. I mean, listen, it's a tough name to spell. I wouldn't be able to spell it. Like right off the top of my head, I'm not gonna be able to spell that.
Well, that
to be
I've
fair,
had so I can't
that's
type
true.
that good.
Greg, did you have another video you wanted to share?
So I had a crazy video, and this one has to do somewhere in Oregon.
Oh.
I don't know exactly where, but this happened in Oregon on a work site. There was a meteor that fell out of the ground.
Fell out of the ground?
Fell out of the ground, I guess fell into the ground. Oh boy. I got too much Lanka on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I got that Lanka.
Breaking news.
Lanka brain.
Meteor falls out of the ground.
Meteor hits reverse and goes the other way.
And then they show some fucking redneck. He's like, that fucker just came right out of the yard.
Straight up through the girth.
Fucking mowing the yard. The fucking old turd came flying out at me. Big old hole there. Okay.
Oregon's a weird place, dude.
So
things happen backwards.
They're saying that apparently a meteor crashed into the ground.
Yes.
There's a perfect little hole.
And it's still steaming, dude. So watch this video. And I don't know what the comments say, but yeah, this is a crazy video.
Okay.
What the fuck? This motherfucker just fell from the sky.
I think it's Danielson.
Look at the trail.
Look at the trail.
There is
No
no
trail
trail.
at all.
This motherfucker's still smoking and shit.
That's not a meteor.
That's not a meteor. It's a piece of paper, bro.
You know that?
It's a wad
And
of
someone
garbage.
goes, "That's a moon rock."
You know what?
But I mean, could you
You know
imagine
what that
Look how
is,
deep
right?
that hole is?
You know what they call
These
that-
were seen over
Whoa,
San Diego last
holy
night.
Shit.
Jesus
Old
Christ.
cheesehead over here.
They
What is
call
it?
those things a Boeing bomb.
Oh, that's the turd.
Yeah.
The turd thing.
It's a big hunk of poopy.
Maybe.
Oh, from the Boeing?
Yeah. When they empty their fucking facilities.
Mhm.
Is that true?
The
What
commode?
else would they do with them? I don't know. Maybe they don't.
I feel like they just put
I
it in a
think they
storage
empty them when they
compartment.
land.
I don't know.
dude.
You
I feel
think
like
so?
that- I feel like that was the
yeah,
old-
mid-flight.
Yeah,
Come
'cause
on.
I just feel
They
like
should do it mid-flight because I mean, if they don't do it mid-flight and that's false and Joe Dirt steered me wrong.
well, listen, your
Do you remember
sources
there
are
was
not
that
great.
plane? There was that plane back in the day. I think they accidentally released their fucking sewage on everybody.
They did release something. But see, my thing is if they had a tank, a holding tank, and then they accidentally release that whole, like, because you know when you land,
Yeah.
and you flip the switch and it pumps that shit out into a tube, you know, at the airport.
Maybe.
Like if they would have switched it on mid-flight and that thing was just spraying out.
It wouldn't spray though. It would dump like, and then it would all freeze because it's in higher atmosphere.
I don't think it would freeze. I don't think
No?
that would. No.
You don't think it'd get hard? from,
No.
like-
And if it would spray for sure, because
Depends how
you'd be
high
going
it
at
were.
such a high speed that it would, like, once it exited out of the plane,
That's
it would
true.
just like fucking, you
That's
know, like
true.
all over
God
the place.
damn it, Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt fucking steered you wrong, dude.
I
So,
learned-
what's
I
your
thought I
opinion about the
learned
meteor?
something
Come
from
on,
that
you really think this is real?
It could be.
I think if
I don't know.
I think if that was an actual meteor, it wouldn't create such a perfect hole.
That's the first thing I saw when I saw it the
That
other day.
okay.
Because it wouldn't go straight down. It would be coming in, you know, at an angle. It would.
It might. I mean, it doesn't have to be coming at an angle. Like it could come straight down, depending on where from the atmosphere or where from the universe it was coming from.
Well, it would obviously like fall off of the firmament somewhere.
Oh,
and then it would land.
It
down here.
found that one little tiny meteor found the access point.
Yep.
And was able to get in.
Well, no, it's just part of the firmament.
Bob
Like
Hansen.
the firmament is nothing but a rocky aggro crack.
He says
You know what I mean?
it's a space peanut.
Yeah.
And what's funny is actually if you look at the comments, that's funny that he probably saw. Hopefully you did, or you're just genius, Bob. If you look at the comments on that video, it says right here, pretty sure it's a space peanut. Saw a comment about it. So
Yes.
that's what people are saying. Space.
Yeah, it's from Joe Dirt.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I literally haven't seen it forever. So
Yeah, he says
a space peanut's Joe Dirt talk.
yeah, he says he calls it a Boeing bomb. It's a big hunk of poopy.
Oh, okay.
And then he says, look right here. See that? It's a peanut. Dead giveaway. And Joe
Dead
Dirt
giveaway.
says, that's space peanut. Yeah.
Dude, listen, I gotta be real with you. I didn't realize this whole conversation was Joe Dirt. I gotta be honest with you. It's been a long time. I didn't realize that we were literally talking about Joe Dirt.
I mean, obviously that movie has shaped an entire generation.
All right. Well, hey, yeah, it could be a space. To me, it looks like you know when you have like wadded paper and it's got that ashy kind of you know after it burns and it's like that gray material.
Dude, it looks like a moon rock. It has like the
it looks like
little-
it looks like a burning hornet's nest. If you want, you know, it ultimately comes down.
Go back to it. Show
like
like,
a
a still frame. of it.
beehive.
Burning hornets.
Yeah, dude. Look at it. Got all those little bee holes in there.
What?
This
Hold
guy's
on, I
like
gotta
also
get to
the way the guy's acting. I just ain't buying it.
Right. What the fuck?
He's like, look at the
Thing just
stream.
fell off
And he looks
sky.
at the
There
sky
we
and
go.
there's like nothing. There's no fucking trail in the sky.
See, that's a
See-
giant
see
moon
the-
rock.
It doesn't look like a rock to me. It looks like burnt paper.
It looks like a hunk of concrete
Burning love.
that somebody fucked up. Like they poured it wrong.
Well, Greg,
Probably was.
you're kind of
You
in
think
the
he
area.
just like threw it? You think he just like threw it in a fire, got it really
Oh,
hot, and
maybe.
then dumped it in that hole?
Maybe. I mean, that would be very easily to fake, right? Like you could just
Yeah.
you could just dig a little hole with a shovel or something,
and put your,
and then throw some fucking gasoline down the hole, light it on fire, throw a fucking piece of concrete that you fucked up down in
and
there.
then you
be
just
like,
dump water on
fucking
it.
meteor,
Yeah.
bro.
Dump water, you get the steam effect. The whole
Was
wouldn't
there
even-
any
you
water in
wouldn't
that
even-
hole though?
no,
wouldn't
but
even have to
it would
pour
evaporate immediately, bro. If you got that out of a fire and you just dumped a thing of water on it and made it steam up, like that water would be gone. Look at that.
Because
It's
look at
just
that,
like
look at
steam.
that hole. That's shovel dug, bro.
Yeah, that hole.
I know that's a perfect circle.
You see shovel marks, man.
I know you do.
There's footprints all around this joint.
He dug that with a fucking shovel or a post hole digger. Yeah.
Man,
That's hilarious.
I like
That guy's
the
a
top
faker.
comment, or one of the top comments was, "Damn, that creator knew how to dig the perfect hole."
That's good stuff.
Oh God,
I told you it came out of the ground.
yeah,
It
it
came
did.
Out of the ground into the
it did.
sky.
The acting is just always piss poor.
Yeah.
I feel like when somebody's really going
The
through
trail,
something
the
weird,
trail gives it away when he says,
The
"Look
trail.
at the trail."
Dude, play that
turns-
one more time.
he
Like, pause it
turns-
where the trail's supposed to be, because
turns
it's like
and-
there is no trail.
God dang it! What
Look at the trail.
fuck?
what the fuck?
It's
This
just sitting
motherfucker
in
just
there.
fell
Here.
from the sky.
Look at the trail.
No,
What
at the
trail?
Look at the trail.
It's like just clouds. Oh, the whole cloud.
Oh, you mean the completely normal sky behind you?
yeah. Well, chemtrails galore.
Yeah, they call
but-
that clouds.
Uh,
All right.
Fucker still steaming.
I'm saying debunked, man. You know. What
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I say it's debunked too.
Obviously, but you know what? It's whatever that is. I wonder. It could be a lava rock too. To be honest with you, it could be like a giant.
Oh yeah.
It could be like a lava rock maybe or something. Because it looks
lava rocks are red.
well, but if you put paper on it and let it ash up on it, I feel like it's a wad of paper.
Why would you do that?
Because you're trying to make it look real. You're trying to make it look semi-real.
No, I guarantee this guy dug a fucking hole with either a shovel or a post hole digger. Lit the hole on fire, or even he just heated the rock with
He
a
lit
torch.
that hole on fire.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just heated the rock with a torch or something.
Yeah.
And then just
heating my rocks.
and then
up.
just threw the rock in the hole.
Oh yeah.
Because even when he says, "Look at that,"
I throw rocks
what
in
the
holes. every once
fuck?
in a while.
You scoot. What the fuck?
With a
He
rock
scoot-
in the
he
hole,
zooms
rock
in on
in-
it, and it's just a rock in a hole.
It's-
It's not even.
yeah.
It's not even like buried a little.
Yeah. It's
There's nothing.
it's the immediate like, what the fuck? That whole
I know,
thing.
right?
Like when you see a video of a UFO and the guy's like, God damn. Like you're just like, fake. It's fake right away. You know what I mean? Because like, I feel like when Chris actually called me the other night.
Oh, I did.
He called
I
me
did.
the other night, and I'll let you tell the story, but he saw something. And when you called me and I answered, you were like, bro, I just saw something really fucking weird. And you were like super
Stuttering and
excited.
stuff.
I was super.
You
But what
gotta
I'm
see
saying
this.
is like,
There's probably a totally natural explanation.
well, no, it probably. But my point is you were genuinely excited about something, and you could hear it in your voice that you were just like really like,
Yeah.
dude, something cool just happened to me. Like I could tell that it was something cool for you. And like, so when you see a guy who has something supposedly cool happen, and he's like,
They're not that calm.
It's not, yeah, it's just such a bland fucking like. You'd be like, holy shit, like you'd be calling people, bro, taking photos. So, anyways, you saw some stuff, man.
So I think I saw a UFO.
Well, it's what he says. I'm
I don't know.
okay.
It could be anything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably ball lightning. You ever heard of ball lightning? Remember that?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
Happens every time I jizz. Oh, wait a second. Oh, God. I take it back.
I'd say you need to release more.
ball
okay?
lightning. Oh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
I mean, if it looks like a
Fire
Pokemon
from the
movie or
gods.
some fucking Dragon Ball Z every time you come, I
can
don't know
hurt
what to tell you.
somebody with that
Yeah. Well, hey.
Yeah. Like. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
I have no idea how I have children.
I don't either.
I was on my way back to the warehouse and I was sitting at a stoplight and I'm just sitting there and I'm just kind of looking at the lights, waiting for it to turn. And all of a sudden I see, granted, this was during a thunder lightning storm. There was a thunder lightning storm the other night down more towards Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Ball.
In the Tomball area. And I was sitting there at the stoplight and I'm looking at the lights, but all of a sudden I see two round orb things side by side to each other shoot across in front of me, and then they disappeared. And probably half a second from when they disappeared, a flash happened right where they disappeared, and a lightning bolt came down.
Mm.
So I don't know if it was like something weird,
Mhm.
or if
Portal.
or if like ball lightning can like maneuver across and then turn into actual lightning bolt.
You know what it was? It was that Malaysia flight, bro.
I was gonna say it was that Houston
Fucking came out
flight
of nowhere.
37154 that just fuck.
Yeah, it was the next one in line.
I don't know what it was, but there was, because I didn't tell you the what made me look at the sky in the first place. was before that, I seen something out of the corner of my eye just go kind of shoot down, but it wasn't a lightning. And then right after that, there was like the two balls in front of me.
Hell yeah.
And then we shot across the sky this way. And then when it got off to more of the right side of my windshield, they disappeared. And then a lightning bolt came down.
And the thing is I'm sure that there's something to answer what that was, but I've never seen it. That's the thing is like we've had a lot of lightning storms just being here. We had them in Washington, and I've never seen two balls of light kind of shoot down, disappear, flash a light, and then a lightning rod come from that area. That's weird.
Like the flash of light and the lightning bolt kind of happened at the same time. So it was just like a normal lightning bolt that we see all the time.
But the orbs went to where it started.
But the orbs went to it first.
That's the UFOs that were getting the energy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's the excitement I want to hear in a video, that I would say like he believes what he's saying.
Yeah. Like what?
You know what I mean?
Like, Meteor. How do we know? Like we've seen it in movies. We've like that UFOs disguise themselves in the clouds. How do we know that them generating whatever power they use is actually creating it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're coming down to absorb the lightning for energy.
Ooh.
Hell yeah, dude. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they like that shit. Like, we got endless lightning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, one lightning bolt can create 1,000 years of energy.
There you
Tesla
go.
needs to harness
Now we're
this
going
shit
back home.
better. You know
Okay,
what I
I
mean?
see it.
You know what's crazy? Not to change. I'm changing the subject. I am. Have you guys seen the new Indiana Jones yet?
I have not. No.
Okay, so I watched it the other night. I was just like, "Fuck it, it's on. I'm gonna watch it." It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it wasn't good. But I will say, what was crazy is I'll try not to do this without giving stuff away. But the whole premise is there's this like relic, you know, that when you put it together, you can basically travel through time, right? Like it's a time traveling piece. And the scene, which was interesting, I was going to talk about this last show, but we had talked about the Malaysia flight and the portal. What's crazy is the Indiana Jones basically did that in the movie. They
created a portal.
Yeah. So they had this thing and they were in a plane, and the Nazis that were in this plane were setting this. They wanted to go back to the World War II and try to, like, they were going to try to basically take over Hitler or something like that, whatever. But they were in the plane flying, and a portal opens up in the sky, and they're going into the portal, and it was going to, you know, suck them in back into the time period that they wanted to go to. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like,
what the fuck?
I was thinking, weird that like this movie came out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, you know, or whatever it was. And then the Malaysia thing happens to be around that time where this new evidence comes out. It's a little fucking weird, right?
That is
right.
Well, not really, because they do that stuff to promote the movies all the time.
Oh, okay. But
that's not something that they're promoting for Indiana Jones, right? Like this portal.
No, that was, it was not like that's why I don't feel bad saying it. That wasn't like a big part of the movie. It was just, that was the method that they were able to do this. And so, needless to say, it didn't really work the way they wanted to, but they went through a portal.
I don't think it really worked for the way it wanted to do for the other plane either.
Probably not. But the clouds turned into like a vagina.
Yeah.
It was dark and rainy, and then all of a sudden this white opening. Like if you were the baby coming out of your womb, out of the womb.
The yoni.
There was this, and then they were like flying through. You know.
So it was dark, wet, vagina shaped.
A lot of shaking going on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cussing.
Sounds natural.
It was a natural, probably. But anyways, weird, right? I thought about that the other day. I was watching it, and I actually watched it right before we did. I actually watched it before we did the Malaysia flight episode.
Oh.
And I was thinking about it. I was really into that. I thought that was really awesome. I didn't think about it time. Then I was like, well, I'm going to bring it up on the next show. And then we kind of just got sidetracked. And like, I was like, it's weird that kind of came out recently, and Indiana Jones just came out for streaming.
Tell us in fucking movies, bro.
I'm just saying.
They disclose things.
The whole like Malaysia flight thing kind of got debunked over the weekend because this guy came out with those photos.
Well, but the clouds got debunked.
Exactly right. It could have been a real video overlaid on a
whoever
photo.
Shared that version of the video could have like done some shit, but
right.
The thing is,
what happened with the plane? Like, what are the orbs?
Yeah. You know? Like they didn't debunk
it all could
orbs.
be fake, bro.
All he was like, those are my
The whole
clouds.
thing could be fake. The whole thing could be fake.
It could be.
The point is that it's an interesting theory at the end of the day. And the idea, really, to me, is not so much about the plane as the possibilities of other things, right? Like we've talked about Bermuda Triangle in the past. the idea that like even if that didn't happen to the Malaysia flight, right? That was all fake. It doesn't change the fact that it's still an interesting concept, and that, you know, maybe UFOs could do that. Maybe we have technology that we, you know, regular people don't know about, and we actually have capabilities to teleport, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still interesting regardless of the outcome. It doesn't matter. It's still an interesting conversation to be had. I didn't see anything about the clouds. I got to be real with you. I know you guys sent some stuff, I believe,
well,
but
there was a guy that like apparently created some like digital cloud structure stuff, and then when they took that video, somebody analyzed it and put it like spliced it in with whatever this guy created, and the clouds were like an exact match.
So what happened was there was this guy who took some photos while he was in Japan in 2012. He puts those photos on this texture website, right? Where you go and you have like these basic kind of photos that you can download.
Yep.
They're high def, you know, all that stuff. And people were kind of saying his name, and he said that he was like contacted. He's like, I've never seen this video or something, but my name kept coming up. And then there's like, this is your photo. And so he went and looked at the video, and he pulled up this file on his computer, and like the file image, you know, if you hover over it, it'll say like the date and like the timestamp that it was uploaded and all that shit. It said it was uploaded sometime in 2012, right?
Okay.
In that video, because he put out this video on Friday, like explaining the whole thing, and then it just went viral. And in that video, he even admitted it is possible to fake these timestamps.
Okay.
He's like, but these are real. And if you don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kind of left it there. You know, it's like, and so what happened
That's
is
what a
then
liar
you had
would say.
another person.
If you want to
right?
believe
So
that I
then you
cheated
had
on you,
another
you were
person
going to
come
believe it
out.
no matter what. Go ahead.
Right. So you had another person come out saying that he faked the timestamps.
Okay.
So now it's all like,
So
is this
They're mucking up the whole
debunk?
thing. They're mucking the whole thing up.
Right?
Yeah, but at the
They're
end of the
just
day,
like,
all
who
you
the
can
fuck
do
knows?
is you watch what they present and you make your own judgment about it. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I got to be real with you. I'm not fully on board that is what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are ways, even if you wanted to go deep down into it, I feel like there are ways to tell if the footage is real or if it's doctored. Right?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
And, okay, if the clouds are a picture from long ago, I mean, I guess that just proves that clouds are fake. And it's just a repeat visualization that gets projected up into the skies.
We're getting a little funky here. Chris has
Well,
broke
it's
the
like,
code.
where
Every
did
30 days, we have the same clouds. It's kind of like the moon, how it like, you know, we get a partial moon,
it's
full
just
moon.
on a rotation.
Clouds are all the same, dude.
Just on a
So
rotation.
here's the deal. Like if the photo was from 2012 and it was from Japan, nowhere near like where this Malaysian flight was, what is the video of the plane? Like where did that come from?
Yeah.
Right? And what are the orbs around the plane?
Well,
'Cause
that's
like
what I'm
you were
saying.
Chris,
Like, if you could go into it and find out that the clouds were fake, there's no reason why you couldn't go into it and figure out that the plane and everything else was all also digitally enhanced or digitally put into a video that was already existing.
The other thing I would say, just kind of finish this one up real quick, is like the government's come out and talked about aliens.
Yeah.
They've shown videos. They talked about different, you know, agencies and, you know, the Navy and all that stuff and videos that they thought were weird. So they're clearly at this point seemingly willing to at least have some discussions about this. Why, if this came out, why would the government not say like, hey, we're putting this in the catalog of all the other weird anomalies that we've seen. We're going to look into this. Like, why would they hide it, you know, or anything? Like, they've already talked about some really crazy shit that's gone on. So why would they not?
Because this involves transportation, a portal.
I understand
this is
that.
like,
I understand
you know,
that.
this is some technology. It's not just a craft.
And it's
This is
civilians.
actually
There's
doing something.
civilians.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
people
you.
who died.
I get you. I mean, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think like, I don't know, man. I think the thing's kind of weird. It seems weird that you just happen to have video of Malaysia flight. To be honest with you, that's a little weird. Like it's this missing flight that no one's found.
I said that when we were talking about it. Like, it is weird that there was a drone perfectly positioned to capture
out in the middle of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like you just have a drone following that flight.
Yeah. You have a video of something.
I do
Chris.
have a weird UFO video. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Could be UFO.
Turn this fucking guy
I'm actually
down.
gonna fast forward past this guy.
Mute
'cause he's
this fucking
really
guy.
fucking annoying.
Jesus. That
Uh-oh.
guy.
Is he annoying?
Yeah, you heard him
He
earlier.
just like yells and he's
He's
loud.
wearing a freaking Green Bay cheesehead. You know what I'm saying?
But-
So I just tell
He's
you a
a
lot.
cheesehead.
Yeah,
But
man.
I got this video here. And we've seen this kind of style of thing before where things fall from the sky and then they stop. But this one is like three, like I think it's three things fall from the sky. They stop. All of a sudden, different ones appear. And then they start moving towards the earth more. And then some disappear and they just kind of go down.
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay.
Sarah, get out here.
I've got two different angles of this.
Sarah.
What is that?
Wow. Okay, so you got 4 falling objects. They all kind of hover. 3 of them stop. The last one stops a little bit later.
Sarah,
Yeah,
get
they all
out here.
stop.
I don't think they stopped.
They stopped falling.
Now another one appears.
That one appeared.
Sarah.
I don't know what the fuck Sarah's doing.
Dude, the comments are great by Sarah.
Washing her
by the
hair.
way.
And they just all start moving in weird ways.
What
This is like the
hell?
clips to like later as they're going down more.
Have you seen this, dude? Have you
So
ever
this
seen
is like a
anything
different
this
video.
before? No, the entry was.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
different
this
video.
is a different somebody else.
I don't know, man.
Whoa!
Okay. Wow.
But like
I think
that
Sarah
one
just came in,
disappeared,
we
that
know
one
what
went
happened to
down, that
Sarah.
one disappeared.
Those are spaceships, dude.
Okay, well, hey, man. I like his confidence.
I don't know.
I actually believe that guy was seeing something that he thought was weird. So I trust the man that's videoing. I want to know what Sarah had to say. That's what the comments are
Yeah,
saying.
all the comments are going, do not trust Sarah in any kind of weird situation.
I'm
'Cause
just
she
here
will
for
not show
Sarah's
up.
comments. What the
Yeah.
hell is Sarah
Sarah
doing?
needs to do like a post video, like a follow up. You know,
Dude, listen, that's in a major city. It's a little weird to me that like it got so low and really no one's talking about it. Like I'm curious if it was that low. Like, did people that were near it maybe like
where was that?
San Diego.
Okay,
So we have some people that follow us on Patreon that are from San Diego. They could
like
may have
flares.
seen that.
I mean, somebody said flares.
I mean, it could have been flares, but I've never seen. I don't know that flares.
Flares don't dance like that.
Like flares will come down and then they'll float, but they don't like move back and forth this way, right? Or am I
they were
completely wrong?
They were like floating around, dancing, kind of.
Well, see the problem with these kind of
And then
videos.
someone just appear that weren't there before.
Yeah. The problem that I have is always hard with these videos. It's quite a distance away. You know, like it's a little bit of a distance.
There's
away.
no way of knowing how far
no,
away. This
well, there's
is.
also no depth perception, right? So like when you see something seemingly stop, it doesn't mean that it stopped. It could be going towards you or like away from you, but that light is so bright that you can't tell that it's actually moving away or forward. You know what I mean? So it didn't stop. It's just floating.
That's true.
Like comes down and it goes towards you. It would look like it wasn't moving. But in reality, it's the same thing with the planes, Greg, where you were saying about the floating planes. The same principle. As you're driving a certain speed by a plane that's landing, it can look like it's sitting in the middle of the air when in reality it's actually moving. So there's a little bit of like a play to it. But like everybody says flares, and I feel like this is the easy scapegoat
That
kind
is
of
an
answer.
easy scapegoat.
But like at the same time, it was fairly low. And that was like a city, bro. That's San Diego. You know what I'm saying? Like no one around there was looking up, like freaking out if it was
Dude.
actually UFOs.
I mean,
When was this taken?
I'm not sure. This was posted just the other day, I think.
Whitney says it's a military exercise.
10/28 is when this was posted.
So on the comments here it says plot twist. Sarah is one of the skydivers with flares. And then Whitney on our comments says military exercise. And then the next one was
They're
they're jumpers.
jumpers.
And then Meg says military exercise.
They're Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Okay.
She says the one over my house was lit, or it was filmed. So apparently she had one over her home. That's what I'm saying. Like, but to somebody that was hundreds of yards away, or even let's say 2 miles away or 3 miles away, like it would be
weird looking.
It'd be weird looking. But if it would have like went back up is where it would have got me. You know, if it would have flown out.
But if it's coming to
Yeah.
Earth, why would it go back up?
That's what would have made me think it was a UFO. Is what I'm trying to say.
But why would it do
it's
that?
floating down to the Earth, so it has some gravity.
That's
I
what
know,
I'm saying.
but
Like
if
in a-
it's coming to Earth and then it gets in our atmosphere and then slows down, why would it go back up?
Chris, I'm saying
That's why
if
he
that
was saying
video
if it did.
showed them fly out, I would have said like that's a fucking.
How do you know
UFO.
they left?
Well, no one filmed. Well, why did everybody stop filming?
Well, that's because it's been days.
Huh?
How do you know they just didn't stay here?
Dude, no. Yeah, I think you're not understanding what I'm saying at all. I'm
Well,
saying
you're
if,
saying
I
if,
get what you're
if the
saying.
light
Thanks, Greg.
things came down and then they went back up.
if they had
Yeah.
if they elevated themselves and actually looked like they were moving, like in a not falling pattern, but an actual like projector, like projecting itself up, bro, then you'd be like, oh, that's a fucking weird thing, dude.
But they're not they don't need to go up. Why would they project themselves up if their trajectory is to the ground?
I'm saying when you have something falling from the sky with when it could just be floating down, is hard to say that's UFO. If it
Yeah.
would have moved up,
But this wasn't floating down.
it could have been floating down.
It was falling rapidly, almost came to a complete stop. Then
And
was
then the
moving.
parachutes
Then
went
was
up.
moving
And then
side to side.
Then the parachutes.
and then it was they were all moving to the right or to the left.
like parachutes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
As soon as
You drop
as
out
soon
of
as
your-
Whitney said, yeah, military exercise, parachute.
You jump out of the plane,
That's
you're
what I'm
fucking
thinking.
free falling really fast. You hit the parachute. What's it do? It goes poof, and
Yeah, it
fucking
stops.
moves over, just like what we saw.
Play it again, and imagine these guys have a flare or like a bright flashlight on their chest, and then
They have
parachute
the
just
strings.
opens up.
A bright flashlight.
It's definitely not a
Yeah.
flashlight. That's a flare.
No, dude. I mean,
This
yeah,
was a
These receipts.
no,
God,
fuck
this guy, dude.
Sarah, get out here.
I've got two.
I'll mute it.
See, like, why are they flaming as they're coming?
That
in,
wouldn't
though?
be parachuters, dude.
No.
That looks like a falling star initially, and then they fucking almost stop.
See, like the parachutes deploy. You're floating around.
Unless they have like
having a good
sparks flying
time.
from them.
Yeah, I feel like it's parachute, man.
But
But
then
why are they flaming?
Like the look that they give off right here seems like what a parachute looks like.
yeah.
Like how
But
it's
what is
just stops.
parachuting? Is it a drone?
No, just like people.
But why would they have like flares to them? If it was
Yeah,
if
people
this,
are on
if,
fire.
No,
if this was like a military exercise and they're parachuting down as training or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Why would they have flares on them? They don't need to see them from the ground. Why wouldn't they just have like some kind of tracking thing on them
Well,
so they
not
can
only
just
that,
see where
but
they
parachutes catch on fire, don't they?
are? Can't they can?
So you don't really want to have fire around your parachute.
I mean, people do like smoke and stuff, but that's not really fire, I guess. But I'm just saying, like, if they were parachuters and they're doing a military exercise,
Mhm.
especially if you're training for like real life situation, I feel like you wouldn't want to be visible from the ground.
Yeah, but this is not war. You know what I'm saying?
But why wouldn't you train that way?
Well, because I mean, you're going into a city.
You don't think all of those soldiers
maybe they
don't have
wanna
like
be
tracking
observed.
devices on them?
Yeah, they could want to be observed. Like Greg was saying, they're in the middle of a city, so maybe they're not trying to like freak people out. You just some person lands in your backyard. You know.
I don't know.
know.
I don't know. Like parachutes and fire don't mix to me. So that's the only.
I get
oddity.
you. I get you.
I feel like if they're doing a military exercise, they're not going to be landing in someone's backyard.
No, but to me, it just doesn't. That doesn't look like a UFO.
I'm not saying it was a UFO. I'm just saying
An
it's
anomaly.
weird.
Because like it
is
seems
very weird.
like a flare. Even if it wasn't jumpers, like if you look up like military flares, like they can stay seemingly quote unquote stationary in the sky, which they're not. I don't think actually stationary.
No, they're falling slowly.
But if they dropped 4 flares, so they came down at the same time, same trajectory, seemingly from the same spot, even maybe they're flares.
Mhm. Yeah.
Maybe those flares
from a
had,
plane too.
maybe they had parachutes on the flares. You know what I'm saying? That were like,
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Bringing them down.
Yep.
Maybe. Who the fuck knows?
We see so many of those like anomalies in the sky, dude. At the end of the day, we see a ton of them. It's so hard because like, it's immediately you think military exercise. You know what I'm saying? But like, is it? I don't know. It seems a little parachutey to me when they kind of just go and just kind of like seemingly spin around.
But I just don't understand why have the fucking sparky flares like what's the point of that?
I have no idea.
Do you have people on the ground that are like looking up to make sure you're going in the right place?
Have them. I mean, they have flares.
I know they have flares.
So there's a reason.
I'm saying, like, is the military really relying on fucking having flares and someone on the ground making sure you're going to the right place? No.
Yeah.
Maybe they use them to light up the sky.
Why do they need to do that? They have night vision.
Because they have men on the ground and they just fly over, light up the sky with some flares. Get the fuck out of there. Now
let's attach flares to all our paratroopers. That way everyone can know where to shoot.
Not paratroopers. The guys are already on the ground. The drones with the flares are in the sky and the parachutes or whatever. Like the flares have parachutes. So the flares are just sitting there, lighting up the sky. And the men on the ground, already on the ground, got, light to see stuff.
We sound dumb. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Like we're not military, so it's like I would love to know from like a military person that's done this. Like, what would be the reason?
I personally feel like if you were military, if this was military, and you have flares or whatever the fuck they are attached to you, and you're jumping from a plane to go into someplace, that's not going to happen. You're going to fucking get shot down because now everyone can see you.
I just found it.
What?
Look up battlefield illumination. Okay.
While you're looking it up,
technology that improves visibility for military forces operating in difficult low light conditions. Okay.
I like Danielson's comment where you're looking at this. He says, flare or is it a Ric Flair? And it's like, woo! It just falls out. You hear it in the background.
Woo! Battlefield illumination.
Okay.
Just pull up the Wikipedia page and look through it, dude. You'll see exactly what we just saw. Flares in an exercise.
Okay.
By the way, Wikipedia still can't be sold.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. This thing's
okay.
So if you go
Are there
over,
flares in exercise?
There you go. See that? Look at that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your flares.
This picture
I don't
here.
know.
Yep, that picture there.
Could be the same, could be different.
That doesn't look the same to me.
Well, it's also like it's.
Obviously, you wouldn't be able to see the smoke.
You got the lens flare coming off too, which your camera or something.
So scroll down a little bit. You'll see Battlefield Illumination Airborne System BIAS is an illumination system consisting of a lamp assembly consisting of a number of xenon lamps, a power source, a heat exchanger pod, and a control console. This system was intended to be installed on modified cargo aircraft.
How far do we need to go down here? Oh,
right there.
I was looking at the lightsaber that was going on.
BIAS.
Okay. Well, maybe. All right.
So they would literally be just testing the flares?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And testing to see what they can see on the ground. Battlefield illumination.
All right, let's end this. What is the odds that's the UFO?
I'd say low.
Low?
Low on that one.
1%.
1. Shit, you were like super confident, bro.
I just said it was weird as shit.
Man, fuck you guys. I'm going 25%, dude.
No.
Nah, that's what I'm doing. Fuck it. I don't care. 25%. There's beings on that shit.
I don't know.
Hey, the same odds that was a meteor in the previous video, that this is a UFO.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
I'm gonna go with the same odds that Mike Obama will run for president, which is nil.
Ooh,
so yeah,
okay.
I actually
Right.
I don't think that's that I don't think it's aliens, but regardless, still fun though. It's still fun.
Yeah, it probably wasn't aliens.
Fun videos, man. Good stuff, dude.
Fun stuff.
Good stuff, man. Just watch out for those cyber attacks, dude. It's fucking coming on strong right now.
Is not fun
it's
stuff.
almost election season, so I guess.
Oh, Alex Jones predicted it's going to happen also. Since he just got back on X, they did an interview with Tucker Carlson that got released.
Yeah.
He says that's what's going to happen.
Next episode. Guys,
okay, we'll see.
Love you. Good seeing y'all.
All right, everybody.
Cheers to everybody out there. Take care of yourselves.
Later.